Go home already! Who said you could come to my wedding? I never invited you. Nobody wants a bossy old lady like you around.
Simone, that's a very nasty attitude to have towards someone. I came to celebrate your wedding, and this is how you treat me.
I never asked you to come in the first place. You ruined my entire mood today. You sure had guts to gatecrash my wedding.
What?
Did you think you could come here just because I invited everyone else from work? Just because I invited everyone else doesn't mean you could tag along too. I specifically didn't send you an invitation because I didn't want you to come. I didn't forget or anything. It was on purpose. You're divorced and everyone knows that. Isn't it embarrassing to come to a wedding with you being divorced? You just bring down the mood and ruin it.
Wow. Are you going to talk about that again? Like I said before, I'm not embarrassed about being divorced. And yet you still try and make fun of me for it. I'm telling you, if I go home now, that would actually bring the mood down. In fact, it would do way more than that. I can guarantee it. So if you don't want that to happen, then please let me in.
What are you talking about? Don't you think it's obvious that everyone would hate it if the bossy lady who gets on everyone's nerves from work was here? You'd completely ruin it. You're jealous of me because I'm cuter and younger than you, so you came to destroy my wedding. We all know that.
Excuse me. That's what you think of me.
Or maybe you came to look for your new husband? Is that it then? I don't care how much you want to find a new husband. Coming to my wedding uninvited is going too far. Stop trying to mess up my wedding. Imagine being an old lady going to her younger coworker's wedding trying to find a man to hook up with. Disgraceful.
Oh, wow. Simone.
Well, I guess I can understand where you're coming from, Luna. My soon-to-be husband works at a big company and all his friends are lawyers and doctors and elites. And I probably thought it was a good opportunity to find a nice rich guy here. There could be so many options, right? But you know what, Luna? I'm sorry, but everyone here is in their 20s, so I'm afraid an old 50-year-old like you won't have a chance here.
You know what, Simone? There's a good reason why I came here today.
I don't have time to listen to your excuses. Just hurry up and leave. Leave this venue. Go and find someone else's wedding to ruin. Just because you're important at work, it doesn't mean you're important here. The most important person here right now is me, the bride. You have no place here, so get going. Shoo!
Okay, fine. Tell my son I said congratulations for me, will you?
What now? Your son?
I tried to explain to you, but you never gave me a chance, so I give up. I'm tired of this.
What do you mean? Who's your son?
My son is the groom, also known as your soon-to-be husband. But you told me to go home, so that's what I'm going to do.
Your son is the groom? My fiancé? No way.
You clearly don't want me here, and I never thought you'd kick me out like this.
Wait a second. What do you mean you're the groom's mother? That doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean? I'm sure you were aware of this fact and sent me the invitation, right? Just last week, I got the invitation in the mail and it had your name on it. It was handwritten, and you said you were looking forward to seeing me there.
No way. Are you serious? So does that mean that you're really Austin's mother for real? Austin told me that you divorced his dad when he was in middle school and that he hasn't seen you since then. And you're my boss.
Yes, that's correct. That's why I was so delighted to have received an invitation, and I was looking forward to it. However, I will go home, like you wanted me to. I'll bring down the mood anyways. Isn't that right?
Hold on. Wait, please. The surprise we were all planning for Austin will be ruined. Please don't leave. Come back to the venue, please. I'm sorry.
Surprise? Austin doesn't know that you invited me, does he?
He doesn't know anything about it. It was going to be a surprise, and the best surprise ever for that matter. A beautiful reunion with his long-lost mother on his wedding. Everybody would be moved to tears. It was supposed to be the best surprise from me to him. I obviously didn't know who you were when I sent the invitation, though. I never would have thought it was you.
Oh, okay. That makes me want to leave even more. I'm sorry to have bothered you.
Wait, why? Don't you want to see your son again after such a long time? This kind of thing doesn't happen often, you know. It would be perfect.
It's not that I don't want to, but I don't think it would turn out as well as you've envisioned it to be. Instead of it being an emotional event, I can see it turning into something quite violent. If Austin has changed over the years, then I possibly could be wrong about that, but I'm not too sure.
What?
Well, I'll leave you to enjoy your wedding. Goodbye. I wouldn't want your wedding to be destroyed because of me. Yo, smelly old hag. Who said you could come to my wedding? Nobody invited your ugly old behind. How did you even find out about it? Oh dear. It appears that you've already spotted me. Well, I'm on my way out, so you shouldn't have to worry about me anymore. When I saw you, I had to do a double take. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. So, how did you find out about my wedding? I never wanted you to come and celebrate with me, so I never mentioned it to you. Well, your future wife, Simone, was the one who sent me an invitation, if you must know. I didn't know about this until now, but it was supposed to be a surprise for you. It was supposed to be a surprise? You seeing me? They wanted an emotional reunion between the mother and son who haven't seen each other for years, or something to that effect. At the very least, she perhaps thought that this could be something to help us rekindle our relationship. So I was a tad bit hopeful. I guess I was wrong. But anyway, Simone had her heart in the right place, but she probably didn't know the severity of our situation. Some rotten surprise that is. Simone. She probably shouldn't stick her nose where it doesn't belong. I don't want no emotional reunion with you. I don't even want to see you, much less fix our relationship. You can forget it. You walked out on me and Dad and abandoned us. I still hate you. Austin, it's been such a long time and you're still saying that. You're a grown adult now, so I figured you might have changed a little bit. What? What do I have to change for? You're the one who did us wrong. You've grown to the age where you found yourself a wife and you might even have children in the future. You're sure to have plenty more things to focus on as you settle into your new life. And yet you still hold this grudge on me for divorcing your father and leaving. Have you ever stopped to even think about how I was feeling when I left? Don't you even care enough to try and understand my side of the story? Just what do I need to do that for? Just shut up already! This is supposed to be my wedding. I don't need you to rain on my parade any more than you already have. Forget the surprise. Get the hell out of here right now! You walked out and left me when I was still in middle school. You don't have any right to celebrate my wedding.
Ugh! This is the worst day ever! My wedding was ruined and it's all your fault. Austin yelled at me all day and I just feel awful. What are you going to do to make up for this?
I beg your pardon.
Austin got really mad at me and told me to stay out of his business. He said I was doing too much. We somehow got through the wedding, but he was upset the whole time. I hope you know this is all your fault, Luna.
Don't put the blame on me, Simone. I'm certain that you were the one who set this whole surprise up in the first place. I understand you were trying to do a good thing, but you probably should have done some research before you went ahead with this.
Oh yeah, sure. I should have done more research. Then I would have found out sooner that you were a backstabbing witch who left her family and who just happens to be my senior at work. How crazy is that?
Excuse me.
I actually find it so hilarious how much your own son hates your guts. It must suck, huh? When you're at work, you're always pretending to be so prim and proper. I could never imagine that's what you were doing behind the scenes. I'm quite disappointed in you.
What in the world are you trying to say?
After the wedding, Austin told me all about what you did when you divorced his father. He said you got up and left both of them out of nowhere. Just like that. You probably found another man and ran away with him. Isn't that right?
What? No! That's not what happened.
You old stuffy hag. You act all bossy and strict at work, but the reason you got a divorce was because you were running off with some dude. Some scandal you'd bring, wouldn't you say? I wonder what would happen if I accidentally mentioned it to someone at work.
I'd appreciate if you'd give me a chance to speak. That's not the reason for my divorce. It's also none of your business to be spreading people's personal affairs around to the workplace.
Affairs, huh? The joke's on you, though, isn't it? Just wait until I go to work next week. Can you imagine how fast this will spread? Especially if I tell Sandra and Rose. Wildfire! Oh, yeah. I think there's already a rumor about you and the executive director, if you know what I mean.
What?
A little birdie told me that the two of you are having lunch together. So you can forget about your plans to get rich by marrying him now. If he finds out the reason why you got divorced in the first place, he'll drop you like a hot potato.
Simone, you do best not to bring other people into this. I left the wedding like you both wanted. I've also given up on making amends with Austin. I also don't intend to force an in-law relationship with you. What more do you want from me?
Quiet! Who do you think you are, bossing me around? You're a disgrace to all women. You abandoned your own son.
Pardon?
Austin was only in middle school when you left him. He was only 12 years old. Do you even know how sad and lonely that made him feel? He was just a kid. You're the worst mother ever.
I've been trying to explain, but you still won't allow me to. I didn't abandon them. I was the one who was abandoned.
Oh, here we go with the tragic heroine act. That's crazy. I'm sure the executive director is just eating that sob story right up, isn't he? He probably doesn't even know how annoying and bossy you are at work. You just spin the facts around so you can make yourself feel better, don't you? That's so lame. How can you say that you were the one who was abandoned? You're the one who walked out and left them.
Simone, please just listen.
You and I are completely different. I'm Austin's young and beautiful wife, and you're his old, selfish mother who left him. I'll make sure to continue to take care of Austin instead of you. We will never get divorced, and when we have kids, we'll take care of them. Both of us. I'll give Austin the family he's always wanted. I'd never leave him for another man, and I'd never walk out on our children.
Simone, can you just listen to me, please? There's a lot of things you don't understand about marriage. Anything could happen. I really did try to take care of my family back then. Even so, sometimes that alone isn't enough.
It's always been my dream to get married, ever since I was a little girl. I've always wanted to find the man of my dreams and spend the rest of my life with him. We'd never get in any fights, and we lived together in happiness every day. We'd love each other so much. We'd never get a divorce.
What?
Only women who don't know their worth get divorced. Divorces are just a way for weak women to run away from their marriages. I would never do that. I'm not like you, Luna.
Okay, then you'll never leave him then. You've said it 3 times already, so that must mean you're 100% positive that it will never happen. That means you won't leave him even if you're living in a barn on $200 a month. Right.
Huh? What are you talking about?
If you're so sure about Austin, then I'm certain that this will be no problem for you. After all, you're a woman who knows your worth, aren't you? No matter how difficult your life will be from now on, I hope you'll still be happy every day with Austin. Good luck.
What do you mean by that? $200 a month in a barn? Where is all of this coming from?
The reason why I left Austin's father wasn't because I found another man. Austin and his father treated me so badly. I couldn't take it any longer. I didn't have a choice but to leave them. His father only gave me $200 to survive on for the whole month. Austin grew up thinking that was normal, and they both treated me like a housekeeper rather than a mother and wife. Plus, the barn was so dirty and it stank of manure. I wanted to leave as soon as we moved in, but Austin was still a baby. As Austin grew older, he started to treat me just like how his father did. I couldn't take it anymore, so I packed up my things and left. I filed for divorce afterwards.
What? I don't believe you.
Austin was in middle school at the time. As a young boy going through puberty, he went through his rebellious phase and became violent and used me as a punching bag.
A punching bag? Are you telling me that he used to hit you?
Yes, with every ounce of strength he had. That's why I couldn't take it anymore, and I left. Then he said that I was at fault for leaving them, and said I failed as a mother. I can't believe how he turned it around to make it look like he was the victim in this situation. I still have the scars from when he used to hit me.
Scars?
That's why I haven't seen Austin since I divorced his father. I also foolishly thought that he would have changed by now, so that's why I came to your wedding. I figured that we could repair our broken relationship. I was painfully wrong, though. Austin was still the same Austin from so many years ago, and he was still acting like the victim. That's why I will leave Austin for you to be with him from now on. I don't plan on seeing him ever again.
Is that true? But him and his dad, they're both so nice to me. They don't look like the type of people who would do something like that.
They've always looked and acted sweet on the outside, but it's a pretense. I'm praying that they won't turn on you after getting married.
They actually told me the other day that I should quit my job and be a stay-at-home housewife. I was fine with it, so I'm living with Austin now, and he gives me an allowance of $1,000 a month.
Oh, how that brings back memories. Bad memories. I went through the same thing before I got married. After we got married, my allowance dropped to $500 out of absolutely nowhere. Then, when I quit my job to become a housewife, it dropped to $200. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? I expect that's exactly what he's going to do to you.
No way.
It'll be all right, though. It was your dream to get married, wasn't it? Ever since you were a little girl. I'm sure you've prepared for this, so living off of $200 a month probably won't be a problem for you.
What? Wait.
Well, I hope you enjoy your new married life, Simone. I'll prepare your resignation from work in advance, so you don't have to worry about a thing.
Look, you old witch. What did you say to Simone? She just told me she wants to divorce me already. What did you say to her?
All I told her was the reason why I divorced your father and left the family. I just wanted to leave her with some words of encouragement for her new life.
Encouragement? Are you crazy? What if she actually wants a divorce? What'll you do then? If that actually happens, I'll make sure you take responsibility.
I beg your pardon. I fail to see how I would be responsible for that. All I did was tell her the truth, and she started to see you for who you really are.
This marriage needs to happen. I need to marry Simone so she can support me and Dad. If she doesn't, we're going to have to bring you back to live with us.
What did you say?
Dad hasn't been feeling good lately, and he's been feeling knee pain, so he's thinking of leaving his job. We need someone to take care of him when that happens.
Is that the reason why you wanted to marry Simone? Did you even love her to begin with?
Of course I love her, but the most important thing is for her to be able to take care of us. Isn't that what a wife is for? But if she calls it quits, then all of our plans will be thrown out the window. If that happens, then you're going to have to remarry Dad and come back to take care of him.
You really haven't changed a bit, have you? Just like your father, you only see women who marry into the family as maids. Do you think that wives only exist to cook and clean? I can't stand men like you.
Shut your mouth. You're one to talk. You're not even married. You're still single, aren't you? There's not a single man on this planet who would marry you. You should be grateful that Dad would even consider remarrying an old witch like you. Ha!
I'm terribly sorry to say this, but I'm actually about to get married quite soon.
What? Stop lying.
I'm in a good relationship with someone at work, and it's been going very well. We're actually going to get married next month.
Ha! I'd hate to see the poor bastard who decides to marry an old bat like you. He's probably a good-for-nothing like you. He must be some old poor geezer who doesn't even make half as much as Dad does. Ha!
He's the executive director at my company, if you must know. He's such a wonderful man, and he treats me so well.
Really?
He treats women with respect and sees them as actual human beings. He's an amazing person, actually. We're getting married, so I'm not going back to your father, and I don't want to anyway.
I don't buy it. There's no way anyone would marry someone like you. Much less the executive director.
Do you really think you're in a position to be threatening me to remarry your father? You'd be better off trying to stop Simone from calling off your marriage. If you can't do that, then you're going to have to take care of your father by yourself. I don't think you'd like that, would you?
Ah!
It's not right to be counting on your wife to take care of him. He's your own father, so I'd expect you to be the one to take care of him.
What? I'm a man. I can't take care of someone like that. That's a woman's job. Women are only useful if they're cooking, cleaning, or taking care of people.
Oh dear. If your father let me raise you, there's no way you'd be making such outrageous statements like that. Maybe you could have even found a lady who would love to marry you.
What are you talking about? Simone still loves me. I'm sure of it. If I can't bring you back, then I'm going to have to get Simone to marry me. It can't end like this. I have to make it right with her somehow.
Luna, you have to help me. Please. I knew I shouldn't have married Austin. This was a gigantic mistake. Please come and get me out of here.
Excuse me. You ignored my warnings and you still decided to marry him. So why am I the one who needs to help you? You came to my office and dropped off your resignation letter with the smuggest look on your face. I had assumed that you were happy with your decision.
Well, that's because I thought I could handle it. Austin said that he would never do anything to hurt me, and I believed him. He said that he would love me and make sure I was happy. That's why I thought it would be okay if I married him. He was so kind when he told me that.
So you got carried away by your feelings and he took advantage of it. Now you've began to live your worst nightmare.
Before we got married, he told me that he wouldn't bring me to live at his dad's house. Then he took me there the second we got married. He just told me that I have to live there from now on and take care of his sick dad. He didn't even tell me about his bad knee or that I even had to take care of him at all.
He sure fooled you, didn't he? I told you he'd do that to you. Right.
I thought you were lying. Anyway, he lowered my allowance to $500 a month, and he said you lived on $200 a month, so that I should be grateful. I can't pay for food and bills with $500 a month. The electricity bill just went up, too. It's impossible.
You can't give up yet, Simone. You married him. So you have to hang in there. You married him because you knew what you were getting yourself into. Isn't that right?
I thought I did, but I was wrong. I could never be prepared for this kind of stress. Please, you have to help me. Even if you got a divorce, you're still Austin's mother. And that makes you my mother-in-law. Right? Please. Don't you feel bad for your daughter-in-law? You have to help me.
I told you this would happen, but you didn't listen to me, did you?
But you're my mother-in-law. And we also were co-workers until recently. Please don't act like you don't know me. Please help me out. This isn't the life I imagined when I'd get married. This is far from what I used to dream about when I was a little girl. I want to get a divorce so badly. Help me.
Oh, wow. I would never expect to hear that coming from the mouth of the person who looked down on me for getting a divorce in the first place. You sure loved saying any old thing that came to your mind back then, didn't you? Before you got married. You were so rude to me. And now look at you.
I'm really sorry for that. I didn't know how tough marriage was. I didn't think about how hard it would actually be. But now I know how hard it is. I understand the reality of it now, and I'm done. I can't take it anymore.
You can apologize all you'd like, but that won't take away what you've said to me. It won't take away the pain you've caused me.
Please forgive me. I'm so sorry.
You're with him now, aren't you? You have to keep your word. It's the least you can do. If you can call me an old bossy hag, I'm sure you can deal with Austin's antics. Good luck, Simone. According to what I've heard, Simone blew up on Austin and her father-in-law because of how they were treating her like a housekeeper. She said,
You stupid old geezer and good-for-nothing husband. You're going to regret taking me for a fool. Just watch. You'll see.
She exploded and started throwing things and destroying the house. Austin and his dad didn't expect her to fight back like that, so they just stood there watching her, absolutely dumbfounded. Simone doesn't love Austin anymore, and after multiple conversations, they finally decided to get a divorce. I heard that Simone moved out as soon as she could, and Austin had no choice but to take care of his dad all by himself. As for Simone, when she told her friends about everything, they just ended up laughing at her. She made fun of divorced women before, so her friends laughed at how ironic it was that she's the one who's divorced. Some of her friends have even cut her off now. People make fun of her now, and I heard that she cries about it every day. As for me, I was able to marry Andrew, the executive director of my company. He's really such a wonderful person, and we had a lovely wedding. Andrew is also divorced, and he has 2 children from his previous marriage. Surprisingly, my stepson is the exact age as Austin. His other child, who is my stepdaughter, is a few years older than Austin, and it's so refreshing to have a daughter for a change. I love my stepchildren both dearly, and I hope we'll continue to have a great relationship. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and leave your thoughts in the comments below.